Hello, my name is Lark.
And I'm Victoria.
Today we are shining a light on missing children. This is a topic that it's hard to look at. It's like looking in the mirror after, you feel like you've done something that doesn't feel good, even though you're not the one that did it. And then you have to just keep looking and kind of working through it. Missing children is a real thing, and we didn't know how vast and crazy it is, but around 800,000 kids go missing, and that's just what is documented and filed within a huge database within the world. 800,000 kids go missing yearly, and around 460,000 kids in the United States go missing and have not been found. And we want to shine a light on this because as we shine a light and start asking questions, and you do the same, we have a really big
we become their voice,
a really big way to help save them, just by deciding to look at something that's really uncomfortable to look at. So that's what we're going to have a discussion about today.
Right, because sometimes we think, like Lark said, I've always kind of heard about even like milk cartons and things like that. There's always been that, we kind of got conditioned to it, and then Amber Alert came out too and kind of got conditioned to that, and you just think, oh, missing children, and you feel sad and stuff, but you feel like there's not much you can do. And then like she said, we had no idea the magnitude of it, no idea the magnitude until we actually started looking into where do they go, why are there so many missing children, how is that even possible?
We're not big news watchers.
Right.
We turned off news years ago, but come on, we all have social media, we all have places that things pop up. I mean, surely we should be getting some news about this huge travesty. I mean, we're going to talk about other things and how many deaths and things like that happen in other downloads that we get. But this is crazy. I mean, children missing, one child missing is one child too many. I mean, we've got to really figure this out and say no more.
Yeah, and I think that, a lot of people, including myself at one point, and maybe you too, it's just like, okay, well, what can I do about it? And then you kind of, it's either that, what can I do? Or maybe you do, like what she said, like what Lark said, is that it's a little bit uncomfortable. So you turn a blind eye to it because it's an uncomfortable subject, and you want to know, but then you don't want to know. You don't want the truth, because it's hard to swallow sometimes. But in order to set the children free and to set, the darkness or whatever I'm trying to say, in order to bring it to light, you have to look at it. You have to find out what's really going on and where the heck these children are and what's being done to them. And that's what we did.
Yeah,
we just kind of went on this journey to find out. We asked the question first, wait, where are the children? And then we started researching that.
Yeah, and so if all of us say, first of all, step 1, where are they? Step 2, we do not consent, and we will start uncovering this, and we will bring this to light, and we are committed to saying no more. If every single adult human being on this planet does that, first of all, there's going to be great healing for all of the parents that have lost their children and nobody's listening. And then we could find the children, and then we can all, heal in a huge way. Sorry, there's a beautiful cardinal that's looking me straight in the eyes just now.
That's cool.
That was really beautiful. That cardinal's like, yes, we need this to be fixed. But do you guys remember when you were kids, we were able to be scooted out the door on a Saturday, and we were gone all day. I was riding bikes, I was at a creek, I was playing with crawdads,
climbing up a tree.
I was climbing a tree, I was scraping myself. I came home with
completely muddy.
And this huge Goonies adventure that happened on a Saturday. Okay, over time we have gotten to be where we can't even let our kids go out the front door. What has happened with that community spirit of that neighbor that's gardening over there, kind of keeping an eye and saying, get off that tree, it's too tall, or whatever happened when we were kids, that everybody was kind of communally watching over our kids, and now we've all become too separated from one another, and that's not okay. We need to be able to bring that back where our children can have some freedom again, where they can run around and we can feel comfortable with it. And that starts with understanding what systemic problem has been going on since, 1970s or 1980s when we were totally okay with going outside until now. What happened?
Yeah, and even the stores, shopping, you really can't just let your kids, like we used to play in the clothes and like just do whatever we wanted.
Oh my gosh, yes. I used to scare my mom to death, like being gone forever in a rack. Oh, that didn't end well for me.
And now, it's like your heart just drops, you panic when you don't have your child, especially these younger moms and people that have younger kids and their kids are not with them right by their side. And there's a right, there's a reason you have that fear. That fear is real. It's based on something that's going on in our society today. So it is something to pay attention to.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like the playbacks of kids being abducted and like a mom is just like looking down at a package trying to read an ingredient or something. And then their child, later when they look at the camera of what happened, is abducted. Yeah. That is not okay.
It's really sad. And then you have to ask, what are they doing with these kids? Like, I mean, why? Like, why would somebody else want your children? Like, that doesn't really make sense, right? Like, to me, it didn't. It's like, what do they want to do with them? And so that's the question that we want you to ask yourself. What do they want to do with these children, and why do they want them? Why are they so important to them to take?
Yeah, and this is an impactful thing that really we encourage everybody to go and start looking at and find your own answers to. But we want to start the question and plant the seed and let you all know from what we found how important it is that we all do this research, that we all do make our own videos and say enough is enough. And we see a beautiful thing where we do this video, we've seen other people doing amazing videos, and then they're just everywhere. And that is something that catches on globally, where we all start piecing everything together and uprising and all of this ending, because what is going on with our children is so important to what's going on. Like, if our kids can't even be safe, then how can all of the other things that we need to be having healed within all of our communities, how can that happen? Like, that is the first thing that we all are able to nurture and love, and know that all of the kids, no matter where they are in any part of the world. And what's going on with the United States, 460,000 kids being gone. Right. And then, globally it's 800,000. So we're more than half of all the kids missing.
That's a huge red flag and a huge problem that we need to figure out the answer to and really start digging. And like Lark said, we need to unite our voices together to create that ripple effect, to make a change. Because if we don't, then the children don't have a voice. We have to be their voice. It may not be everybody's mission or passion or whatever, but like, if you feel called and led in your soul and your true self to go seek the truth about this, then we encourage you not to turn a blind eye, to actually go and listen to that inner voice and help us be the voice for these children, to help the children, but to also help humanity.
Yeah, a new earth is being formed right now. And as I mentioned in the last video, we're going from 3D to 5D. So in this 5D reality, we are collapsing all of the things that are not okay now to be able to build a new society. So what if we all decide in this new society, all of our kids are okay, we have these communities where everybody's looking after their kids again, and we get it even better, right? Like in the 70s, 80s, I'm sure there was still some sketchy things going on. Like all of the sketchy stuff is not happening. And we can trust one another, and we can know that our kids are able to run in a park and be able to have adventures and take their bikes out again and have their Goonie adventures. That shouldn't be taken from them. It's huge. I mean, a whole generation or 2 generations have already been raised with, too much on electronics and not enough out in nature. I ran around barefoot. That's called grounding. And now we know how important that is. We need to take the rubber off of our shoes and let them play and have all the experiences that we did, because they made us part of who we are. And, you know, it's a travesty that that's being taken away right now. So
there's so much to this topic, guys, and we just can't express enough to really go seek the truth and where our children are, where are the missing children.
And as you find things, we would love to have you drop it in the comments below, and we're open to having conversations. Maybe you're going to find things that we haven't found, and you can always reach out to us, and we can get you started on places to go to.
Yeah, we have lots of articles, lots of videos, lots of research that we're happy to share with you to help in this journey of rescuing and being the voice for the children.
Yeah, and let's end on a positive note, knowing that there are people out there that are
actually rescuing
them now, and amazing, beautiful things are happening. And we salute everybody that's doing that, and we are so thankful. And we are part of your brigade now of shining a light on this and saying no more.
Exactly. And I do believe that they are being rescued too, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. Namaste. Or not.